had this smirk on his face where he died doing what he loved.
You live for those moments when he just walked down and was throwing the hats.
So after laying out the whole McCoy succession theory, the journals, the forced, amazing narrative, we have to look at the massive damage this has done to the TPUSA brand and how the public is reacting to the grief itself.
Exactly. They are trying to sell a narrative of a noble tragedy, but the public is watching and seeing a performance that just doesn't track. And this interview, which was clearly meant to humanize Erica, just added fuel to the fire.
Listen to this exchange about the phone call because it's key to the timeline they're pushing.
And that's when Mikey started calling me. He called me within seconds.
Within seconds.
I called Erica. I just remember it rang like 3 or 4 times. I didn't know what to say. Those are the words that will change someone's life forever, and you have to be the one to say it. That was the first time I've ever called her during a campus tour stop.
I remember it rang 3 or 4 times. The entire point they are driving home here is just how fast Mikey was on the phone, immediately telling Erica what happened.
But that hyperspeed timeline, that quickness, when you contrast it with the footage and the overall feeling of their narrative, it only adds to the audience's deep suspicion. It has completely tainted the public narrative.
And so Mikey called me, and I'll never forget him just being like, Charlie's been shot. He's been shot, get the kids. Get security, get the kids, he's been shot. I sprinted out of her treatment center and just collapsed in the middle of the parking lot.
And then you get this incredibly emotional, tragic moment where she describes seeing Charlie one last time. It's hard to watch.
He still looks so alive, because he doesn't. I'm just so glad I saw him. He had this smirk on his face. It was so sweet. He had this smirk on his face where it meant 3 things to me. First, that he died doing what he loved. The second was that he was at peace. And I gave him a kiss. Gave him a kiss. And then before I left the room, which was one of the hardest moments of my life, was leaving him in that room. Excuse me. That smirk to me is that look of, you thought you could stop what I've built. You thought that you could end this vision, this movement, this revival. You thought you could do that by murdering me. You got my body, you didn't get my soul.
Okay, let's dive into the comments. The audience isn't focused on compassion. They're focused on discrepancy. This first one hits the timeline issue right on the head.
Mickey started calling after 0.8 seconds. That's one hell of a quick reaction.
That's too fast to be anything but weird. And the specific details about Mikey's behavior are what people remember.
Why did Mikey walk off before Charlie even hit the ground?
Now let's look at how people are reacting to the interviews intended to defend the organization, specifically surrounding the McCoy narrative. They're calling out lies of embellishment.
Why did Pastor Rob McCoy lie about Mikey having blood all over him?
That's critical. The father fabricating a detail that makes Mikey sound like a brave, blood-soaked witness directly conflicts with the video evidence. It makes their whole story look manipulative.
Mikey's dad said his poor son had blood all over him. That's a lie. We can all see he was filming the planned assassination and that he was maybe on the phone filming it so his dad, Pastor Rob McCoy, could watch it live. Mikey walked away without any blood on him and continued talking on the phone. These people are evil and sick.
The audience is laser-focused on every tiny factual discrepancy. And speaking of scrutinized performances, there are several comments here about the optics of the tearful interviews.
Just cry, but please stop wiping the tears 1,000 times in 15 minutes.
And this one's even sharper, targeting the entire performance.
She went from only wiping her left tearless eye to dabbing both eyes 500 times and blinding us with those gaudy rings. She's a horrible actress.
Can't wait till someone asks her some real questions like, why did the magnificent Mikey have her on speed dial as he did a legger before Charlie even hit the ground? And what made you think black leather pants were a good idea?
Oof. That level of skepticism is damaging. They're scrutinizing the performance of grief because the core story seems inauthentic.
And the overall theme is that the organization is losing its base because of the lack of transparency. TPUSA is paying the price. Nobody will be following TP anymore, especially after the hostile takeover, my opinion. We all smell a rat. I don't believe the story they're spinning to us dumb Americans. May the Lord bless Candace for her courage exposing their lies. TPUSA is covering up something. I will not send them a dime until we all get the truth. They are hiding something, especially when they tell us everyone grieves differently. Great excuse, and I don't like it. Can she be crying so much because of guilt, her possible betrayal to Charlie?
That's the real damage, a loss of trust and a direct hit to the bottom line. It all stems back to that central contradiction, telling people to believe a polished script over the shocking video they all saw.
The audience wants answers, not a eulogy. They want the truth, and they're not afraid to demand it.
Charlie said, you better keep asking questions because that's the only thing that keeps us free. But everyone is telling us to stop asking questions, and Cash thinks questions are dangerous, which is why the pressure is mounting on the inner circle.
I want to see Candace Owens interview Mikey McCoy. That interview would be worth watching.
That would be the interview of the year, wouldn't it? The only way to cut through all this PR is a direct line of questioning.
The fact is, the public narrative is tainted. The more they try to control the story, the more people see a cover-up instead of an organization dealing with tragedy.
The crystal ball is going to keep following every thread of this.
Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our continued coverage.
Until then, keep asking questions.